What's happening, you guys? I hope you're enjoying your weekend and enjoyed a football Sunday, which started very early. I got up for this game. I had to. It's my favorite team. I had to watch the Vikings game as they took on the Cleveland Browns in London. Whew, that one was close. I had to sweat that one out. The Vikings get the job done. Now, we're going to break this win down, but we're also going to break down some big picture things. We'll start with the game, though. First and foremost, gutsy win by the Vikings. Look, it hasn't been pretty. It's been pretty damn ugly. But being 3-2 after 5 games, entering the bye week, granted, whatever the schedule has been, is right where they need to be. I've been saying this for a while. For the Vikings, sure, everyone's like, oh, hopefully we go 4-1 or 5-0. That's great, but you need to be realistic and think bigger picture. When the schedule comes out, everybody sees the schedule and thinks like, oh, this team's going to be tough to play, and the Ravens are going to be a really good team, and, it just doesn't end up that way. The Colts might be a pushover. Next thing you know, the Colts are looking like one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. So, the schedule looks how it looks, but it plays out differently as it goes on. So counting wins and losses is just kind of a waste of time in the beginning before the season even gets started. So being 3-2 at the bye, it's a pretty good place to be, especially considering the amount of injuries that this Viking team has been dealt with. Now, again, we start with the game today, 21-17. Technically a road game. It was in London, but it's technically a road game for the Vikings. Look, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I haven't liked about KOC as we go along, but we got to start with, again, in short term with today's game, give KOC a ton of credit. This is why he is a great head coach. I've never wavered from that. He's a great head coach. My problem with him sometimes is the transparency and the being soft on the players, essentially part of it, which I'll get to. But as far as the game goes, look, he did a masterful job of, one, just making what you could with a depleted offensive line. You only had 2 of your 5 original starters for this O-line. No real center starting. Blake Brandel started at center today, and that was his first time ever playing center professionally. And then in the fourth quarter, Christian Darrisaw didn't even play because he's on a snap count, which is part of my issue that I mentioned, but I'll get to that later. But I'm just saying, to coach this team up like that, and I'm going to check to see how many sacks did Carson Wentz. He only took 3 sacks. Now, people will be like, oh, well, credit Carson Wentz for getting rid of the ball. Yes, but also credit KOC for creating plays that were designed to get Carson Wentz to get rid of the football. These are the plays that we've been asking since week 1 to see him apply with JJ McCarthy. When I get it, look, the offensive line, the Vikes did everything, poured money into free agency to secure and make sure and assure themselves that they would have a good offensive line. But we could see from game number 1 that those starters that they brought in and whatever was going on with that old line was not working. I get the expectation, this is going to be a good offensive line, but if the product on the field isn't reflecting that, you got to adjust. So week 2, when we're playing the Atlanta Falcons and the plays aren't designed to get the ball out of the quarterback / JJ McCarthy's hand, something's got to be done. It can't just be we have we have Will Fries and we have Brian Kelly there, so it should be good. It's not good. They're not playing well. They're not meshing. Whatever the deal is, it's not happening. So that's when you have to adjust. And finally, today, it took 3 starters essentially being out, but KOC proved that he can do it. He proved that he's a great head coach and he can find ways to do that. Now, a big part of that, I think, that will go overlooked. CJ Ham was back today. He played his first game today. And it might be a small thing, but that guy does know how to block. He does the little things that also open up guys like TJ Hawkinson. Now, Hawkinson didn't have a huge day, but he did have 6 catches for 38 yards. The average, 6.3 per catch. You know what? Those are the plays that have been missing. A quick turnaround for 6 yards. A quick Justin Jefferson slant for 5 yards. Where has that been? And today it showed up. And again, it led to some success against the number 1 defense in the NFL. This is exactly what I think a lot of us fans, including myself, has been asking for. So again, we'll keep it with the game. Huge credit to Kevin O'Connell. He came through. He did what he had to do. Look, I'm going to just say this straight up. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL. And you could say it's close, but it's not even the numbers. Forget the numbers. And when people think it's close, they think of Jamar Chase. No, I'm not even thinking of Jamar Chase. I would even put Puka Nacua closer to Justin Jefferson than Jamar Chase, because it's not just about the on-field production. It is about the leadership. It is about the attitude. Like I don't see Puka Nacua pouting or complaining or holding out for a contract. Jamar Chase did that. Justin Jefferson didn't do that. Okay, which is a huge leadership quality that he has. And the sad reality is, we shouldn't even be thinking this, but if he was a diva, it's almost expected, which is just sad about the state of NFL wide receivers, that we expect the good, great receivers to be divas. We should be, if Justin Jefferson was a diva, we should be annoyed and bothered by that. If he asked out because he's like, we don't really have a defined starting quarterback, this is BS, I want out, we should be pissed for him turning on the Vikings. But the culture around wide receivers has been made to the point where we almost expect that. So when someone like Justin Jefferson is just being a pro, and I'm not trying to take credit away from him, I'm giving him credit, but I'm saying he's just being a pro. Like he is being a professional at his job, being a good teammate. That's what we should expect. But it's so rare with these wide receivers that, at least if you look at Justin Jefferson, again, you could argue the on-field, the route running, the catchability, all these things. Jamar Chase is great, of course. Puka Nacua, amazing. CeeDee Lamb, incredible. But the leadership that Justin Jefferson shows time and time again is something that I don't take for granted as a Viking fan. It makes me feel incredible to watch this guy play on the field, but it also makes me feel incredible to listen to him speak, listen to him talk about the fans, and it sounds genuine. See the videos about him, taking time on a Saturday before a Sunday night football game to go and do Make-A-Wish, events and stuff like that, because the guy just seems like he cares. And, this maybe went unnoticed today, but before that last drive, where Carson Wentz, by the way, went 9 for 9 on that last drive, balled out. And again, none of those plays really were slow developing plays. Quick hitter to Jalen Naylor, 4 yards. Quick hitter to Jordan Addison, makes a move, 6 yards. Like those are the plays that keep the drives going. I'm glad they had that today, and I hope that Kevin O'Connell carries that into the Eagles game in week 7. But back to Jefferson. Before that last drive, the punt by the Browns, there's like 3 minutes left. The Vikings are getting it at their own 20-yard line. And there's like the TV timeout, and they got the overhead camera over the huddle. And the guy that's getting the troops going, that's talking to him, you could see him. You could see it. He's looking at the lineman. He's like, let's go right now. Let's do this. That upbeat attitude is crucial. When the best player on the whole field, and it's him or Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett's a future Hall of Famer, incredible player as well. But when it's either one of those guys that's doing that and having the confidence and not rolling his eyes and being all about it, like, you buy in. And that is the underrated part, I will say, underrated part of Justin Jefferson's game, because that is part of his game. That is part of the leadership. That's why he's got the C on his chest, and it's fitting with him. With him, it's not just like, oh, that guy's the quarterback, so he has to be the captain. No, with Justin Jefferson, like, he is a leader. And again, I feel really, really lucky as a Viking fan to get to watch him. Now, big picture, a couple things. The snap count with Christian Darrisaw. And I talked about this the last time when I recapped the Steelers-Vikings game. Vikings fans, if you watch that one, you know what I'm talking about. But the Vikes organization and Kevin O'Connell, to me, sometimes baby the players. Like, let's backtrack. Earlier in the week, J.J. McCarthy on Friday isn't practicing because we wanted to get him on the field, but the weather conditions weren't great, so we didn't get him out there. I'm sorry, what? We didn't get him out there? Like, because it's raining? Like, what are we talking about? He is a professional quarterback in the NFL. He's got a high ankle sprain that by now, and I'm sorry, I'm going to look this up, but if you watch that Isaiah Rodgers pick 6 from a few weeks ago, you know who's running down the sideline? J.J. McCarthy. Watch it. Like, I might not be able to find it right now, but he's jumping around. That was 2 weeks ago. So I'm sorry, like, try to pause it. So you guys, if you've missed it, so you can see this. You know who this is right here? This is J.J. McCarthy. And this is 2 weeks ago from a high ankle sprain. Now watch him. Like, if he's jumping like that 2 weeks ago, we'll pause it again. Right here. Here we go. Right here. Look at him jumping around. So if he's doing this 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. Like, no, we are not going to sit him and rest him from a practice because it's raining. Like, again, he better be starting in week 7. And unless there's a setback, which then that's the part that I'm saying with Kevin O'Connell, then just be transparent, or if it's a soft benching, be transparent. I don't think it's a soft benching, but I'm just saying, if you're trying to buy time, man, just say it. Like, otherwise, like, we're not stupid. Like, it's like, don't be tricking us like this. Like, it's like a sleazy politician. Like, I'm just saying, like, just tell us, hey, look, you know what? We got a veteran on his team. We brought in the backup quarterback for a reason. JJ's made a lot of progress. Right now, he's got his injury. So we want to, while he's recovering, kind of give him a chance to reset, to learn some of the basics so he can be ready when he comes back from this injury to go full on go. Great. Like, otherwise, then don't be telling us it's about his health. We see this. And again, obviously, I'm not a doctor. Like, I don't know the severity. But also to say, like, he's not going to play until he's 100%. How many quarterbacks are 100% entering week 5 in the NFL? How many? Like, you think Baker Mayfield's 100%? Jackson Dart in the last game pulled his hammy going into halftime, then came back and kept playing. And then he played the next week, as in this week, again. So I'm just saying, I didn't like that. I don't like Christian Darrisaw having him take snaps off in the whole fourth quarter on the snap count when he came back from this injury 3 weeks ago. And again, if it's a matter of like, hey, you know what, moving forward, like, we're going to rotate him in and build him up. Okay. But that doesn't add up either. Last week, he played like 60 snaps. So I'm just saying, I think I saw that. I think that he played 60 snaps. And now they're saying, because last week he played so many, this week he's going to play less. That's not how a ramp up works, I don't think. So I'm just saying all that kind of stuff that the Vikings have done is something that I'm not a big fan of because, again, like, I love that the Vikings are valued as a top organization. They treat the players great. They fly first class while the Steelers fly in green seat planes. I don't even know what airline that was. And the facilities are great and all that. Fantastic. Yes, be known for that, but also be known for winning. And today, when Christian Darrisaw is out on the sideline, now you're missing 4 offensive line starters because he's gonna take the fourth quarter off because he's on a snap count, and your season's basically on the line. Like, well, then again, I get it. Like, you're almost valuing the one player's health over the team. And maybe it's just me being a fan and in the moment and not thinking big picture. But if that would have cost you the game, like, big picture, that's awesome, man. But the big picture is going to be nothing if the team is 2-8 and out of the playoffs, and then he can come back and play the last 6 games or whatever. Wonderful. But at that point, like, we're not making the playoffs anyway. So again, there's a balance there. I get that, but I don't like that. And I don't like that. Like, right now, when Aaron Jones is healthy, he's the backup. Like, he's the backup. Jordan Mason is your starter. That's it. And it shouldn't have taken an Aaron Jones injury to see that. After the first game of the season in Chicago, it was clear that he's just the better runner. And no knock on Aaron Jones. He's had a great career, but he's a little bit older now. Have him be your third down back because he can, run and catch passes like he did in Chicago, and he can do all that. But Jordan Mason's a starter. And that wasn't the case in week 2 against Atlanta. And KOC does that too. Like, obviously, he has a special place for vets on the team, which is, again, great, respectful. But at sometimes when it comes down to it, man, like, even I think the vets would almost rather you just, let's go win. Like, again, and Xavier Scott, now when Aaron Jones comes back, is he just not seeing the field? Because out of those 3 guys, like, I love Aaron Jones and he brings something to the table, but I also love what Xavier Scott's bringing. And granted, today wasn't fantastic for him and Jordan Mason because they both fumbled. But I'm just saying, Jordan Mason's your starting running back moving forward. And it should be that way. And I get the respect that you have for Aaron Jones. But even Aaron Jones, being the great teammate that he is going to want to put the team first, I would believe. So, look, ultimately, again, short-term, big-time win for the Vikings. I'm glad they got it done. They needed this win. I said it. They need to go 3-2 into the bye. That's where they're at now. Now, the next 4 games look like a gauntlet. Yes, they certainly do. And when I looked at the schedule, I'm like, that looks like 4 losses. But if you can get 1 or 2 and split, go 2-2, you're in business. And again, that's me just being the fan that wants to see this like dreamy season. But the reality is this season is about developing JJ McCarthy. So if they go 0-4 the next 4 games, but McCarthy's starting and he's getting better and you're seeing improvements, I'll take that. Because I'd rather that than Carson Wentz going in there as a starter, playing average ball, being 2-2. That's wonderful. But McCarthy loses 4 games of development now. And we end up making the playoffs just to get smacked in the first round again like we did last year, because we're not winning the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. And then now what are we going to do next year? It's just the same thing. Are we keeping Carson Wentz? Are we moving on with JJ McCarthy? And you invested capital in this kid. So again, I'm not going to complain about that until the decision is made. But today, post-game, Kevin O'Connell, and again, it's a smart thing to do. This part I'm not really knocking him for. But coaches don't commit to things, which is good. It's smart. But I just wish that we would just admit it and be transparent. Say, listen, we drafted the kid as high as we did because we want him to be a future long-term franchise quarterback. To become that future franchise quarterback, he needs to play. So as soon as he's ready to play, he is going to play. You know? I mean, look at how Mac Jones has been handling being the backup in San Francisco, and he's been playing pretty good ball too. And he said, I was brought here to be the backup quarterback. And he knows his role because I'm sure Kyle Shanahan's let him know this is your role. Carson Wentz, I have so much respect that and trust that I think he knows his role. But again, KOC leaving that door open now is going to start, getting that ball rolling, those questions asked. Maybe even Carson Wentz might be thinking to himself like, man, maybe I can have a Sam Darnold type year if, I get one more start here and I play well, then maybe I can hold off JJ McCarthy. That should not be his goal. His goal should be, when my name is called, ball out. And when McCarthy's healthy, my expectation is I will back him up unless the coach tells me otherwise. But right now, the coach ain't even saying that. So again, transparency. But today, Sunday, the Vikings get the win. You can exhale, feel good about it. And at least now they get a chance to get healthy. And hopefully they take a lot away from this experience where even when they do get all their starters back and Donovan Jackson's back at left guard and hopefully Ryan Kelly's back at center after he comes back from IR and Brian O'Neill comes back hopefully after the bye at right tackle, you don't need to go back now to the slow developing plays because that O-line has not showed you that they can hold up yet. So keep it with the quick game. Keep it with the making it easier on the QB. Roll out JJ McCarthy and let that offense get some flow. A 5-yard pass is all right. It'll keep moving the chains. So again, feel good, Viking fans. Just hopefully we get McCarthy back because I'm dying to see this kid get his chance and keep developing. Hopefully, you can't give up on him after 2 games. So that's my take. Let me know in the comments what you agree with, disagree with. I'd love to engage in the conversation and yeah, let's go Vikes.